The rain hadn't stopped for hours. It fell in heavy sheets, soaking the narrow dirt roads and turning the path to the old school into mud. They called it Escuela del Olvido, the School of the Forgotten, abandoned since the 90s after a fire claimed the lives of several children during a freak electrical surge. No one rebuilt it. Locals whispered that the place still echoed with voices of the lost. But for three high school friends, Marco, Jenny, and Danny, it was just the perfect place for a dare. They arrived around midnight. Marco led, flashlight in hand, laughing to hide his nerves. Jenny filmed on her phone, narrating like a horror blogger. Danny, the quiet one, kept glancing behind them. The rain grew colder as they stepped through the broken gates. The playground was rusted, the swings creaking in the wind, or maybe not the wind, because beneath the rain, faint laughter echoed. Children's laughter. They froze. "You heard that, right?" Danny whispered. Marco scoffed. Probably the wind bouncing off the old metal. But the sound grew louder. A ball rolled out from the mist near the playground. It was faded red and white, smeared with something that looked too dark to be mud. Suddenly, shadows darted between the columns of the crumbling building ahead, not shapes the rain could form. These moved with purpose. Inside, the school smelled of mildew and burnt wood. Doors creaked open on their own. A music box played a broken melody from somewhere in the dark halls. They followed it, against all reason. That's when Danny screamed. They turned, but he was gone. No footsteps, no sign of struggle, just the beam of his flashlight spinning on the wet floor. "Danny," Jenny called, panicked. Marco's hands shook as he raised his own light. A dark figure stood at the end of the hallway, tall, impossibly still, its face hidden in the dripping blackness, and behind it, more shadows gathered, small and childlike, crawling on walls and ceilings. They ran, no words, no plan, just raw fear. The rain had turned to a thunderstorm as they burst through the doors and sprinted back into the night. They never looked back. Danny was never found. Marco and Jenny never spoke of what happened. Not to police, not to Danny's devastated parents, not to each other. The only time Marco broke his silence years later was in a psychiatric hospital. He whispered to an empty room. The kids, they were playing with him.